Well, good evening and welcome to Wisdom Walk Talk here on my YouTube channel, Wisdom Walk 2 Self Mastery. My streaming channel lagged on the drumming, so that's why there was like nothing happening for 23 seconds. It's so amazing how 23 seconds is a long time when you're live stream, but it really isn't. Anyway. Hi, everyone. I just want to say that the energies of today have been very, 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 very intense. Yeah. Astrologically, it has to do with Mars and Pluto hanging out together. This is supposed to be the third and last time this year. We'll see. But yeah, it's really some tight energy. And it's happening on this new moon that we have in Taurus. So I'm just saying all that to say that if I act a little strange and I'm a little weirder than I usually am, yeah, there's an energetic reason for that. I was even shocked that I was able to pull everything together to be able to do this live stream tonight because the energy has just been amazingly tight. Yeah. At one point I was just laying on my couch. I just couldn't move. I couldn't move. But I am here now. And as always, I want to first open up this offering by honoring the ancestors. Yes. And I always start out with remembering my two teachers, Malidoma and Sobonfu Somé from Burkina Faso, the land of the proud ancestors. And it was them who had the courage and the willingness and commitment to bring this deep and ancient wisdom of the Dagara medicine wheel to those of us here in the West. So I'd like you to think about your ancestors, those whose shoulders you're standing upon, those who, without whom you would not exist, you wouldn't be here. You can say their names out loud or just listen along with me as I do this spoken invocation. Ashe. Creator, Mother, Father, God, Source, all the one, all that is, may the ancestors hear our prayers. Ancestors, 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 we call out to you at the opening of the second quarter of 2025 and ask you to enable us to value and understand acceptance and non-attachment as our rod and our staff for moving through this chaotic, confusing, and painful Earth year. Guide us safely through our personal and collective challenges and enable us to trust that everything is happening for a divine reason, which we cannot yet understand. Grant us the courage to practice negative capability, which is embracing uncertainty and mystery without seeking out facts or reasons. Continue to grant us access to our higher timeline, where we know that unconditional love is the ultimate reward for our self-mastery. Continue to give us the strength and courage to honor this new age and new earth consciousness, daring greatly to live out our new narratives, and knowing that these are divinely scripted for ourselves and for our world. And most importantly, continue to enable us to move forth from the dark ages of modernity by placing our heads below our hearts, valuing people over profits, and always, always choosing love over fear. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. Ashe Aho Asah Shinga Bismillah, and so it is. So, good evening, everyone, to Wisdom Walk Talk again on my YouTube channel. And here we are in this second quarter of what is the last Earth year of this awesome and painful third decade of the 21st century. Yeah. where we've been handed a cosmic directive, strong guidance from our greater order and direction to participate more than ever in our self-mastery. As I mentioned last January, the evolutionary energy of the age of Aquarius, also called the age of illumination, is in full force and has increased our bandwidth for successfully doing our inner work. Yeah, like you can just look on YouTube and see how many more videos are accessible and out there in regards to doing the inner work. Yeah, that's really great. Things are shifting. Now, my annual theme for 2025 is unconditional love is the ultimate reward to self-mastery. By choosing to master ourselves, we immediately embark on a journey to learn how to love ourselves unconditionally. Unconditional love, love beyond belief, is one of the greatest gifts a human can receive or give. By choosing to transform our attachment to what is external and temporal, to unlearn the superficial and complex lifestyle, to transcend victimhood and self-sabotage, to reclaim our authentic self-knowledge, and validate our uniqueness through believing we are valuable and enough, then the rewards of unconditional love will be ours forever. Tonight, I'm going to guide you through the wisdom of our fourth annual collective commitment, Reclaim. And in this offering, I encourage reclaiming your authentic self by doing what you love. I'll spill on why this is challenging and ways to overcome those blocks in a loving self-mastery manner. Yeah, cool stuff. So let's get right into it because I don't want my energy to wane here. I want to be able to give you everything that we have. So as always, I invite you to sit or lay back and join me for this exploration of the inner landscape where we can connect with our soul and rediscover, or for some of us, discover the true treasure of being human. Now, my quote for this evening comes from the wonderful and highly influential Miss Brené Brown. She's an influential researcher, basically a social scientist, a storyteller, and the author of the book, Daring Greatly. And Brené says, if you think dealing with issues like worthiness and authenticity and vulnerability are not worthwhile because there are more pressing issues like the bottom line or attendance or standardized test scores, you are sadly mistaken, because worthiness, authenticity, and vulnerability, it underpins everything. Ashe. Yeah, big shout out and thank you to Brené for that great wisdom. Absolutely. So I'm going to move you through these blocks about the doing what we love. But let me just say that, reclaiming our authentic self. And why do I use that terminology of reclaim? And that's because we are all born full. Yeah, you're born full with everything that you need in order to heal your core wound, because we all have one, but to also live authentically, to be in the truth of who you are, to really experience happy endings from being aligned with your authentic self, with your truth, and able to love yourself unconditionally. Okay. But as we all know, along the way, things happen and we can get separated from the truth of who we are. So this reclaim commitment refers to reclaiming our authenticity as an act of unconditional love of self. So this is one of the ways you can know that you are loving yourself, because you're on this journey, and it's a journey to authenticity. It's not an event. And self-mastery practices are the tools that we need to use along this path. Okay. So clearly, this is not an easy process by any stretch of the word, but by doing what you love, you reclaim your authentic self, your truth, and the results are, yes, joy, happiness, fulfillment, and what I like to call our happy endings in life. Yeah. So this is really important. The do what you love that I'm talking about is not in reaction to the dictates of your pain body, right? Because a pain body does what? Yeah, it wants things to be a mess. It wants you to sedate your pain. It wants you to be over shopping, overspending, indiscriminate sex, lying to yourself about what really makes you happy, all of that. Okay. So any of those things that you do and you say, oh, I just love to go shopping, but it's rooted in, I don't want to feel the pain, right? I love to gamble, but it's rooted in, I don't want to feel the pain. Yeah. That's not the loving I'm talking about. Okay. The loving that I am talking about is a response, the things you do in response to your natural ability and desire to experience yourself as capable of contributing to the well-being of yourself and others. How? By doing love-centered activities, behaviors, and creations. Yes. And when you do what you love from a higher timeline, you experience joy, peacefulness, happiness, contentment, and fulfillment. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think we all have an idea of what I'm talking about. Let's look at some of the common blocks for why you may not be at a point in your life where you are actually doing on a daily basis what you love. Yeah, here we go. So the first block is invalidation. This is when family or friends or teachers discourage you from what you want to do. You know, when you announce that, oh, I want to be an actor, or I want to be a great painter, or I want to be a seamstress, or I want to be the best car mechanic there is out there, whatever it is as a child you say you want to do. And you may get some looks or some frowns, and somebody says, you can't make no money with that. That's not that's not good. Or, nah, that's nothing you can do. If like somebody says, I want to be an astronaut. No, that's not anything you can do, you know. This is a major, major block to us doing what we want to do. This is when we first begin to question our own ability to know ourselves. Yeah. Okay, here's the second one. Comparison and self-criticism. You discourage yourself and sabotage your opportunities. I know this one very well in regards to playing the piano. I was always comparing myself, and of course you come up short, you know, and especially when you didn't get any technique training for the 10 years that you've been playing. No, more than 10 years, was it 18 years that I've been playing? No, wait, not. I'm doing my math wrong. 11 years. Yeah, 11 years I've been playing, and nobody had really taught me technique for how to use my fingers and my arms and my wrists and all of that good stuff. And so, of course, I couldn't compare myself to somebody who had been formally trained. But I actually stepped away from my gift of being a pianist and a classical pianist for over 20 years. Yeah. Yeah. So we will do it to ourselves. We will discourage ourselves and sabotage opportunities that will show up for us to have in our lives doing something that we love, that's generative and pleasurable. Third one, obligations. Yeah. Money, family, relationships, and other duties can have you shelve what you love to do. Yeah. oh, I wanted to be this, but I can't do that because now I'm raising children, or now I have a husband, or I have a parent who's ill and that I am being a primary caretaker for. On and on and on. It could be the job that I end up in so that I can pay my rent. And it's not really doing what I love, but it pays the bills and it gives me a vacation every year. Whatever. But these obligations are real and they do show up in our lives. And it can be a block to doing what you love. And then the fourth is the fear of success, which you may think, how is that a problem? Why would you be afraid of being successful at doing what you love? Well, the truth is, because it's something that you have to come back to, and aligning with what you love will require letting go of who and what can no longer support your authentic self. So it's a little bit of a stretch there. It is not just, oh, I'm going to be able to, do this. It's gonna really require some grief. Yeah, absolutely. And I have a greeting from Sai. Hey, Sai and Mama, good to know that you're watching. How wonderful. Yeah. Love them. Just loving people. Hey, Joyce. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. And then there's my girl from merry old England. Hey, Magella, who just ran a race at midnight. Or it was like at midnight or something like that. She ran a race. She's amazing. Thank you, sweetheart. I love you so much, too. So what do we do? How do we remove these blocks? Well, we got to go to that higher timeline, y'all. And I love this picture because this is what it's about. This is like you have to go to a place you couldn't ever imagine you could go to, and you have to connect with a greater order and direction you never thought you could connect with. Yeah, this is the way forward. This is the way forward. And so let me share with you what I consider ways to practically get through those blocks. So for invalidation, it's about healing external invalidation by practicing internal validation. Yeah, this is about you generating, I'm okay, I am good, I can do this. It's like me with the piano. I had to stop comparing myself, and I had to really say, you know what? You really love to play. You really love this. So why aren't you doing it? And play something you really love. And, and then of course you always play it well. And then I tell myself, wow, you're really good. You've got some good technique. You do know what you're doing, But it is a practice. It is a practice that we can do to really talk ourselves into the fact that what we love to do is okay to do. Yeah. And then the universe supports you and they bring you even more stuff. The next one, when we're judging and comparing, critiquing ourselves, the way out of this is to heal that by accepting your uniqueness through daily gratitude meditation and self-generated acknowledgments and cheerleading. Yes, again, it's that same thing of talking to yourself and convincing yourself that you're unique. Nobody else compares to you, and you can do what it is that you really love to do. You don't need somebody's permission. You don't need somebody to tell you it's okay. You're not a child anymore. Do what you love and cheer yourself on. Absolutely. So important. The third is, and when it comes to obligations, we need to reconceive them as essential filters versus blocks. We have to choose to integrate our authentic self by finding time and energy to make small incremental steps towards doing what you love. And this is really important because I truly believe that we have to go through a process to really be able to embrace and have and do what we love. And anything that we are involved with is part of that journey. It's part of that process. It's actually going to eventually support you in doing what you love. When you reconceive it, not as a burden, you know, but as, oh, okay, I'm learning something. I have a friend who is a writer and she loved writing and she was raising her family, you know, being a housewife and a mom. She actually was homeschooling her children, but she found a way every night after dinner to do writing, or when there was a break, or if she had to go someplace with the kids and there was a wait period, you know, because they're doing sports or something, she'd be writing. And she actually finished her first book and got it published. She'd self-published. So it wasn't that the children were a burden. And living her life as a mother and a housewife, it actually informed her writing. So again, it became a filter. It became a filter for her. And that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Hey, Marianne, Sister Afua, hugs across the waters. Yes, my darling. Love you, love you, love you. Good to hear from you. Another amazing human being. And then last but not least, darlings, yeah, that fear of success. You heal that by remembering that what you love is sacred. It's designed to make a loving contribution to humanity. So the universe will bring you everyone and everything you need to experience your authenticity, and easily and effortlessly. Yes. So this is about remembering that when we are drawn to something, when we really, really, really love it, the universe will have our back. The universe will guide us into how to really have it show up in our lives. Yeah, absolutely. And Sister Afua says, yes, love you, honored to see this. Made the possibilities evident. Yeah, love it. Absolutely. You know, my personal experience with doing what I love and turning it into a lifestyle was quite a journey, quite a journey. I actually jumped off the deep end. And I don't think everybody can do that. But I didn't have any family obligations. I wasn't married and have any children. So I could just get in my car and become a nomad to learn how to be a shamanic healer. But also during that time is when I reconnected with the piano, playing the piano. So that's the other thing. It's like if you start doing one thing you love, it's going to open you up to what else you love to do. And I am so happy that now I'm in a situation, thanks to God and the universe, where every day I can do two of the things I love to do, which is to write and to play the piano. And I also love doing these videos for you. And so I get to do that too. It's just absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah. So great. Absolutely. Yeah. Sai says so true. So this is so essential and so important for us to know that we really can grow into our authentic self, more of our authentic self, to live deeply and simply by opening ourselves up to doing what it is we really love to do. So I am going to share with you some contemplated questions that you can ask yourself. And I will put them in the description box below this video. I ain't doing it today, but I definitely will get it done before the end of the week, tomorrow. But again, and I'll have a timeline, timestamps on here too, so you can go to this part directly, but I think it's a very helpful piece. So here they are. Contemplative questions. Am I clear about what I love to do? Why or why not? Because like I said, we can get invalidation. And so we stop thinking that that really is what I love. And we pick something else up that, yeah, maybe we love it, maybe we do it well, but we shouldn't limit ourselves. So that's what this question is about. Am I clear? Why or why not? Next, what would need to shift in my life in order for me to live more authentically? This is a very powerful question, but a really important one for the times that we are living in. Really take that on. What needs to shift? Also, what are the major blocks to me doing what I love? Are they one of the 4 that I mentioned, or maybe there's something else? Give yourself permission to identify them, because then you can open up to learning how to move through those blocks. And then last but not least, what supports do I believe I need to begin doing what I love? Yeah. It could be a change of residence. It could be a change of relationship. It could be, I need to have a different diet. I don't know. But yeah, you want to think about that. You want to give yourself permission to really look at that. What is it that I need? So I hope that that is of support to you and helpful to you. Sister Afua says, I can tell you are a bright beam of higher vibration wisdom. Thank you. I love that. That's so cool. And inside says, very much in tune with assessing myself. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We need to do that. It's just so important to help us keep going forward. And speaking of going forward, next month, the collective commitment I will be talking about is validate, which rides on this. It's just an extension of this. By choosing to validate your unique self, you automatically grow your capacity for sharing and receiving unconditional love. Yes, you can believe that you are valuable enough and worthy of receiving support. How about that? Yeah, imagine that, right? So I have come to the closing of this time with you, which I'm so grateful for. And of course, I want to share with you first my Miss Sarah quote for the month. And that is, don't look for someone in whom to believe. Believe in yourself. The only authentic authority is your own original nature. Yes, and to my great ancestor, Sarah, I am so thankful for that lovely wisdom. Yeah, she's amazing. Absolutely. And so I also want to thank all of you who are listening in right now, those of you who will be listening in later, to all of my wisdom walkers, and you know who you are, to all of my family here in the Midwest, as well as on both coasts, to my spiritual kin and my medicine brothers and sisters around the world, and to those who may be watching and listening in for the first time. I want to say thank you, big thank you, because I couldn't do this without you and your willingness to listen, to watch. I'm so grateful to be of service to you in this way, and I thank you for your commitment of self-mastery. Yes, because when one of us gets free, we all get free. I also want to remind those who are used to the radio that Black Hole Radio owners are still in the process of finding the right new platform, and I hope it'll be completed by the end of June, but I will definitely keep you posted with that. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Also, just a reminder that in May, I will be doing these live streams the first 3 weeks of the month, hopefully, unless something shifts like it did this month. But I'll do the elemental wisdom next Sunday, then astrology for self-mastery, which I probably am going to do in 2 parts. But the first part will be on the 11th. And then the Wisdom Walk Talk on Validate will be on the 18th of the month. And last but not least, I just want to take a moment to say that I'd like to thank my God, my ancestors, my spirit guides, my loving entities, everything that walks with me, keeps my head to the sky and my feet to the ground, and my heart open to do this important work with and for all of you. And you can see in the background of this way, lots of boxes, lots of mess back there. I finally got my stuff from California. That was a huge, huge shift for me because my stuff has been all over the country for years. And so this is the first time in at least 7 years that I have brought all of my treasures back together and in one place that is my own living space right now. So I am so, so grateful. So, so grateful. Yeah. Sai says, Mama smiles and says, thank you. Oh, thank you, Marion, Sister Afua. Yes, yes, yes. Ashe from Magella. And yes, Marianne said she can relate. I get it, sister. So listen, my darlings, please, please have a healthy and safe end of nature week that we're in. The elemental week falls on a Wednesday, and it's all about being flexible, all about being flexible. And then the opening of the earth week, which is where you're going to focus on paying it forward, being a support. I want you to please continue to strengthen your immune system. If you're older like me, shingles is going around right now, so be very careful. Protect your nervous system as well, especially by not taking on other people's pain. Really big one. And most importantly, my darlings, please, and High Truth, I love you. Please, please remember that you are not disposable. Why? Guess what? You are divine. Thank you so much, and I will be back to see you again very soon. Bye-bye now.